So, it was a
Well,
huge.
Okay, yeah, it's a +2 oversized Guzarm. That stuck out like a sore thumb.
yeah.
Now, is it like two? Like, is it the proper size for little him because he's not as big as he used to could?
So it would be a large one instead
Yes.
of huge.
Yeah, it's a large Guzarm.
So, you later tell.
And then Lemmy, if you had a natural amulet, a natural armor amulet, you can have one at +2. Sure.
Cool.
You tell other me, the lesser me, that I'm the better one.
I will let him know.
That I'm better than him. I kick
uh,
his ass all across this ship if he comes here.
all right.
Hmm.
I'll relay the message. And Isildur's trying to picture the two of them hitting each other and what kind of shockwave that would create.
Zildin's lost in thought.
He's looking around for a pipe too.
Yeah, you wander around into the sitting area, and you do find that there were some things that they guessed that you like to do. There are lots of different plants in here for Lemio, and you can see that there are small-sized gardening tools that have been just sort of pushed up next to the plants. Azildin does find that there's tobacco and a pipe in this room. Uker finds all sorts of bathing oils and a certain style of dress that looks like that is somewhat authentic, like Gazaregian authentic.
It is bath time.
Lemio's room is kind of adorned with like a pattern suggesting Yggdrasil all over the place, which is sort of like
Oh no.
which sort of at least the light feeds the tree. Donovan, there's definitely an elvish design. Midwick, there are some gnomish things, and then your gunsmithing tools that you care about. There are a few musical instruments also kind of like randomly throughout the Donovan's room. And then Altagar had a one of these, they look, like one of the training dummies where you basically do katas around it.
Yeah.
It had like a big solid training dummy and then some mats for they understood, like you've seen a woven prayer mat before in some of your temples.
Okay.
And they were wise enough to do that. So there are little touches, like they read into perhaps what you were carrying. And they tried to make it feel home-ish. Azildin finds a pipe and sparks it up and sits down in this comfy seat. And you notice that there's this remote control beside you, and you get excited because you remember from hell that made the picture box talk.
Yeah.
Okay, you
Make it go.
notice that there's a lot of weird static coming from the table above it. Like there's some sort of three-dimensional television, but it's all static at this moment. Like
Abyss TV's even worse than Hell TV.
it might have to do with the power levels, you realize, as it's kind of like the lighting is really dim and it's flickering in this place. Like it's sort of reminding you that they are pumping
Are you
more.
supposed to be doing something?
Yeah, exactly. Uker goes over and sees a bunch of exotic oils and a big bathtub.
It's a big man in a
It's a
tub.
bathtub that Uker and two women could sit inside of.
Now I need two women. Let me get over here. I need Lemmy and Donovan.
Freedom movement, freedom movement.
Okay, there's food. There's food in here. The flash freezing didn't seem to ruin the food. You do think that there are unseen servants that are picking things up when you guys have like discarded, like doctor's robes, and they're folding things and putting them away in whatever room they were dropped in.
Okay.
There's like Zildin jumped for a moment. And you notice like an automatic coffee maker just turned on.
Oh. Oh, I remember coffee. It was really good till you got the bottom. All the grounds got in your teeth and choked you.
Uker looks like he has a wonderful bubble bath. Being a clone's not so bad, although your belly button is weird.
Uker's poking.
And if there were any snipped skin, it's back.
Not really a Mongolian thing.
Not
so,
really a Mongolian thing, so...
No change.
Got it. It's a gnomish thing, we'll say. All right. Is anyone going to go check on Isilden, Uker, and Lemmy, or vice versa? Donovan, Aldegar, and Midwick?
I'll take guys.
Yeah, once we're done.
Well, Donovan will come over. I think it's the North is going to visit the South in their chambers because.
Yeah, you notice immediately that there's some different accoutrements, and Isilden seems to be playing with this weird static that is like three-dimensional and swirling around this table. It's still neat to look at, but
illusion.
In the same way, you've never seen
the illusory
TV
test pattern.
Yeah.
I used to listen to this in hell. It drowned out the scream so you could sleep.
Isilden's got a coffee and he's stuffing a pipe full of tobacco.
So, you sure we're ready for this?
I can keep going, but I think we should rest because we should be at our top. We don't have our mythic points.
Lemmy,
Yeah, Seeker.
can you summon girls?
I can summon female elephants.
I can too.
That doesn't quite count.
Are you guys resting or playing doctor or doing any healing? There are some people with tokens that I'm looking at that have...
Uker's got like damage and charisma damage and the
Yes, so let me heal you.
Prior to resting, Isilden's got a lesser restoration too.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Restoration.
Yeah, I think we need to rest, but
Yeah, we need to rest
oh,
even just to
the
get our
skill.
mythic points back.
Marty,
Mm.
I assume the skill in the int item would have been can't be just. What skill would the people on this place wanted him to know?
That's a good
Oh,
question.
you took an int item? Yeah, it's kind of like what original Donovan would have liked.
No, Uker.
Oh,
What would they have wanted Uker to know?
Computers.
Well, computers, the physical sciences, or is it like knowledge planes, or do they not want him to know anything? Because there's a big difference with what that skill does versus what he knows. Because he really only knows what's in that circlet.
what was Uker's circlet before?
Planes religion.
Yeah, I think they gave him planes. Profession server
server
architect. Yes.
Check your IP address. I think you need to check your IP address.
Yeah, they would have given you planes because it seemed like they were trying to just give you things before that you had before. You don't find any of the items that give you like knowledges you shouldn't have. Maybe those were revoked.
Okay. Well, right. Yeah.
Okay, you guys are resting. Are you casting spells and then resting? Is that what?
Yeah.
Donovan wants to try to figure out an estimate for time dilation effect.
Do you have an int item, Donovan?
No.
Okay, Midwick's tossing
Okay.
you an int item because Midwick picked up a during the way, picked up a +4 int item
Got
from what's his face from the. It's got knowledge of engineering and profession perfumist, so you can use that to boost yourself.
Donovan has a charisma item that he needs.
I gave you an extra +4 int item.
Okay.
It's a slotless gem.
Oh, it's a slotless gem?
It's an ironstone. Cool.
Okay, flick it up.
Here you
All
go.
right. Donovan
I've
knows how to
already
make
gotten into it.
perfumes. Uker comes wandering out in a bathrobe and sits down with everyone. Lemio casting healing on folks.
Uka, you know there should be pants in your quarters. None good.
Uker's got a bathrobe on and a towel. His hair's up in a big ass towel.
Midwick's got a nice rubbery, leathery mat in front of him, like he's wherever we are, like in a desk, and he's got like guns that are stripped and grenades in front of him. And
Okay.
bullets,
So
and bullet making. He's doing this while people are like healing and
The
chatting
party
or
sits
whatever.
down in luxury as Ilden is smoking his pipe and drinking coffee. Donovan seems deep in thought.
This is the life.
It is clean and comfortable
Nice.
on a level of niceness that you could get used to. Maybe. I don't know if you feel like this is too much, but
Uker thinks this is amazing, actually. Like, this is one of those, like, if it would have been like, I'm going to give you a fancy bathtub, a fridge full of food, and all you have to do is go and fight once in a while, and people will go, woo, you're awesome. That's all really Uker wants. That's like everything.
it goes back to Uker's beginnings as an athlete.
As an athlete, yep. A dude in a stable.
Yep, this is kind of like the height of what you could have expected as having your own building, but it's like several tech levels higher.
Yeah. It's the epitome of the gilded cage.
Yeah, it's pretty gilded, all right.
You guys almost destroy the little circular robot that comes out to clean up some of the shavings that Midwick had.
Oh god!
Like Midwick picks
the
it up and
Roomba.
there's little rotors and it's like got some suction and you're pretty sure that you put it back down and it just goes and it's like some sort of construct automated cleaning servant.
Uker's knowledge engineering, or
Yeah,
knowledge
knowledge arcana. Yeah, it's
or physical sciences.
arcana.
Okay. 18.
It's an advanced sort of construct. It's a very simple thing, and you're pretty sure if you stepped on it, you break it.
Yeah. So the question about rest. Time here, if I understood what Imros was saying, although I should warn everyone that Imros can see through some of your items. He did craft things into them, or had someone craft things into them. I don't know that he specifically crafted.
You
them
don't think it's
himself.
Imros's arcane sigil? There was
someone
nothing gnomish
else's.
about it. There was something like the Order of Paradox symbol or something like that.
Whoever crafted it. I suspect that, if you're wearing the gear, you're not in private. The dilation effect requires time to pass for us, and time not to pass outside for us to rest and prepare before we are attacked. Does that make sense? So if we are currently slowed down by speeding up, we move faster than outside of the bubble, therefore we can do more things in the same amount of time. Which means our resting should not negatively impact the originals beyond, several days or hours or what have you. Now, if I have that backwards and somehow we are going quicker, or we're going much slower than the outside, then we very well could be missing the show.
No, there's not much choice if we don't do what he's saying. Basically, the ship's getting destroyed. Right?
Did anybody else get a read on that, or am I... Lemmy, Uka, help me out here.
No, I understand what you're saying. You're right.
Knowledge,
That's exactly
physical
what we got.
sciences.
Sure, actually, Arcana would go, and you did see him play around with a diagram, and the diagram wasn't just a perfect circle. There was this weird field emanating and rippling out that he was extending in different areas.
It's like you know basics of physics. Okay, now here's electromagnetics. Go. It's like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
So
Takes years to
Lemmy
learn
gives
that.
you a 22.
Uker gets an 18 on physical science.
An Arcana, Marty, 22 from Lemmy.
18 and 22. He's playing with time to buy himself time.
Donovan is going to use his other bard take 20 and get his heroism should still be going, so...
Midrick's 34.
50.
Okay, so you saw him and what he was doing, and he was siphoning power and playing with like wavelengths of power and power consumption in a way that he was conserving energy on the buffers as well as other systems. 50. The place where the power was coming from and where you were conserving is not exactly the same place where the containers are, where the buffers actually exist. And the more center on this big field, that's kind of like a picture a sinusoidal wave kind of going into the center, the more distorted each ring will be. And your caskets are somewhere in the center, and with a 50, your caskets will be... You're pretty certain every unit of time here will be multiples of unit of time passes for them. No,
Every
the
unit
other,
of
the
time,
other the other way around.
The other way.
So
Yeah, okay.
every unit of time for them will be multiple out here. Wait.
Yeah. So we have 10,
One of them
they
is
have
saying
1.
if we spend a day here, it's an hour there, or a minute or whatever. The other way is we spend a day here, it's a month there.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
It was an
He's-
or question.
he's playing with time in a way that is extremely dangerous.
So there's, depending on which side of that sinusoid wave that is not a linear function,
Yep.
depending on which side of, like, which part of the wave it's in, typically, because it's fairly moving.
It could be a blink for them, or it could be years.
Right. We don't know. The answer is we don't know.
Yeah.
It's too complex, but we know that is the right question. We just don't know the answer to it.
Yep.
Okay.
You don't know if it's the power or if it's the containment field or both, but Imros didn't seem to care about playing with years of time. It just doesn't register, like as in, yeah, sure, whatever.
We know that the Phoenix can only regenerate once a year.
Yep.
He's going to make it wait a year. Like, it needs to be a year.
Yeah, the sinusoidal thing goes all the way out to the edges of the orb and maybe a little bit past. He is playing with time in concentric circles all the way out from the center of the station.
This is so fucky. All right. So the decision is the decision we have to make right now is: do we try to rest before killing a planet?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to. My my abilities to do extraordinary things are really low. I only got it after we killed that one of the founders, right?
We don't know that our
With a
current
50,
incarnations are properly connected.
it's also not stable, Donovan.
It's
He's trying to create like an infinite power machine by fucking around with time and power and like electrical current. It's not sustainable. Like, he is going to have to be monitoring it throughout different bands, and he's either
we might all explode. Boom.
yeah, this whole thing might be, pardon the pun, a ticking time bomb.
All right.
It'll collapse in one of two ways, or three ways. It'll explode, everyone will die. It will slow things down to the point where you'll all be trapped, or it will speed things up and
We die.
you'll get things done so quickly that nobody will have a chance to blink.
We might end up like your parents, Lemmy.
Then let's
Sweet
make
dreams.
sure. Let's make sure our originals are out of here.
And to give us the greatest chance of success, we must rest. Midwick,
Yeah.
I don't know if our current incarnations are connected to the primal essence of the multiverse in the same fashion.
I mean, you don't know if we're gonna get our abilities back, our
Yes,
special abilities.
correct.
Does Midwick have his gem, the crystal?
Nope.
So, but I do have mythic points.
Yep.
We might still be capable of storing energy. That doesn't mean we're capable of generating it.
All right. Well, there's only one way to find out. You guys get your spells back. We'll rest as much as we can.
Yes.
If it works, it's worth it. It's worth the 8 hours. So let's do it.
I think Altagar and Azildan are going to trade wisdom items, because Azildan will make better use of it.
Okay, there's some trading of items. Midwick packs away his guns.
Uker has, there's an extra charisma, or not charisma, a +2 resistance item, because Uker's keeping the fungal
+4,
cloak of awesome. He'll leave well, it probably ends up with leaving because everybody else has a resistance item as well. He'll leave the +2 resistance item in his chambers.
It wouldn't happen to be a reindeer in Lemmy's room, would there?
No.
Well, once the fungus regrows, he might want his cloak back. So.
Okay.
Myconid.
So, are there any healing spells that go off right now?
Yeah.
Uker will
Lemmy's,
drink a lesser restoration. He'll prepare a lesser restoration and drink it to
Okay.
get the charisma damage down. He'll do
Azildan's
it
got
again.
lesser restoration for Altagar too.
How many people are down? Crap.
Altagar's got some wisdom damage, charisma damage, and int damage.
All right, so that brings him down to 1 charisma, 1 wisdom, which he can get with the
You
rest.
can get with your
Okay.
rest, yeah.
Cool.
He will do the same thing with a healing potion, just to make it so that when he sleeps, he will be at less than whatever 1d8 plus 5. 11. Oh, that'll bring him down to enough that when he sleeps, he'll feel better in the morning. He'll be freshly oiled, squeaky clean. Cleanest gooch you ever did seen.
All right. I'm assuming you go back to your chambers to sleep. I'm gonna start dragging
Are
your.
we comfortable enough for that, or are we still in adventure mode? There's ethergaunts out there.
Yeah, let's be adventure mode.
I think we're going to pick a bedchamber and sleep in it. Anybody who's like, no, I don't want to do that, we're going to camp in somebody's bedroom.
Okay. Whose bedroom?
Sleepover. Bring some beds over.
Where are you
Uker-
having your sleepover?
Uker or Donovan, we're already in the south side, so we'll take Azzy's bed and Lemmy's bed, and we'll drag them into Uker's bedroom,
Okay.
and we'll have a slumber party.
All right. I'm gonna drag your tokens over to Uker's bedroom. Altagar sleeping in a chair because it feels like an Altagar thing to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's sleeping in a chair with his eyes open, painted.
No
pointed at the
wands,
door.
right?
Yep. No, they didn't provide wands. You could ask if you go back and bother Imros.
Yeah.
Although Donovan doesn't really think walking around the station at this point is a good idea because you'll be flowing through what are increasingly sinusoidal waves of time. Like time right now, picture like a pin, like a pebble being dropped in perfect water, and then the ripples going out, and then the station is that, and time is flowing differently in each of the ripples.
Each of the ripples. Yeah. We are currently highly recommended not to leave.
You're in a
this
time
area.
pond, a time ripple pond.
You could get trapped for a very long time. Pun intended.
All right, you guys are going to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to
We'll have a.
and we
we'll
have a watch
what's
order.
it called? Yep, watch order.
Okay, who is awake first?
Let's have perceptive people.
We will have Donovan will take first watch.
And are there any other healings? Because I'm seeing like significant damage on some of you guys. This is the last time I'm going to ask, though.
Okay, who's got it here?
Yeah. Hang on. Altagar needs healing.
20
Altagar needs
damage.
healing.
Okay,
Altagar
let me
also-
do a couple of channels.
That's kind of
What's
what I was
that?
waiting for.
Yeah, let me
No,
do a couple of
no.
channels.
Oh, I think he's talking about ability damage.
No, there's like 20 damage, 17 damage,
Oh,
20
Altagar can
damage.
heal that with key points. He's good.
Okay. All right, remove it for your token.
I can't move anything on here. What the fuck is going on? What is with
Here,
this man?
Let me just do a single channel.
Yeah, I'll do two just
Yeah.
to have fun.
We'll enroll it.
Okay, I gotta reload map tools because something funny's going on here.
There you go. Yeah, I'll
I
heal.
don't know. He did 2 because he could, but he could have just.
How
done
do you
one,
have
but yeah.
96 healing?
He's counting the item that he doesn't have because that was previous.
Hold on.
The phylactery
It's
positive energy.
on the sheet.
You
Yeah,
don't have the phylactery
it's
positive energy.
18. It's
Should be
86, so it's 16.
Should be about
So-
76?
No, it's 8 for
15th
15.
level?
It's 86, yeah.
17th would be 9.
86.
19th. Okay. Yep.
9th. Yep.
All right, so all of your damage is gone.
So do we get our mythic?
This is the
points
sound of
back?
player realizing his campaign has actually deleted the phrase working as intended. All right, who's awake?
For the first one, Donovan.
Donovan?
Yep.
Okay. Donovan, you notice that some of your... yeah, no kidding. Some of your companions are having dreams. In fact, Midwick is having a dream first.
What's the dream? Oh yeah.
Midwick has converted to Lathander, and this is the first, or no, to Palor.
Midway.
And this is the first time that you've slept.
This
and
is
about to
Lemmy
receive
you're
your-
talking about.
Sorry, Lemmy. Yeah, Lemmy.
Okay.
It's a very
Let me-
different thing.
Yeah, Lemmy has converted to Palor. You are standing in this vast sea, but the water is only a couple of inches. It's like a shimmering water in a vast sea, and you can see this massive castle with this great and glorious light behind it. There is singing of the coming of the son of Palor. You don't know if it's metaphor or not, but there are angels singing. The warm feet lapping up, or the warm water lapping against your toes, as tears come to your eyes because of how bright and glittering the Palace of Pelor is.
My way.
Okay, you walk. It seems to take forever. You're crying from the beautiful angel's song. They speak of renewal and hope. Hope and renewal in the direst of times, in the darkest of times. That even after a period of sadness shall become a period of planting, of regrowth, of renewal. And that to walk in the light and grace of Pelor is to ensure that the goodly things and works of his servants and goodly beings of the multiverse shall prevail. You hear a voice. Welcome to the shining flock, shepherd of goodness.
Do I see anyone?
Your vessel is very large for one who steps here for the first time. I know you. And yet, I do not.
My name is Lammy, but I'm not the Lammy that you helped back in you-know-whose realm.
Yes, you are Lemmy the Bright.
Correct?
You are welcome here.
Thank you. They wish to be of service, to save as many, to help as many through this Ragnarok.
And you shall be. You have knowledge of the tree. Even
Right.
the tree will die and be reborn.
Hopefully we can save it. Hopefully. There's ways that it can help others and us. Hopefully can save it. If not,
You
it's a tree.
are found deserving. Donovan, there's a golden light washing over Lemio.
Donovan is going
You
to...
judgmental bastard!
Donovan is going to just make certain that it's not like, I don't know, some ethereal brain bug scooping out Lemmy's brains.
Okay. Yeah, you wander over, kind of curious. Lemio seems to be at peace. He seems to shift in his sleep a little bit. And when Lemio awakes, he hath received in his new form, via blessing of Lathander, all of his mythic points.
Oh, yeah. Right on. Right on.
Uker. We'll save Uker for a moment. Donovan's not asleep yet. Midwick.
Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting.
You're underwater, Midwick. Your lungs are full of it. You can see this glimmering altar in the distance where there's this gun, this colt, this thing This thing that is still just in your imagining. Dark tentacles swirling all around it. You can tell it's like the shade of Natonica, but with millions of those little tiny pufferfish Natonicas.
Work delayed. It's a sign, work delayed.
You wrote a sign. You're right. So you find yourself kind of going closer towards the gun, drawn to it in the deals that you've made. The shadows keeping a cloak around this place, inky darkness all around. You know, Midwick, that even though your original worshipped a dwarven god, that worship was, to you, maybe tenuous at best, a casual alliance, as you flirted with deities. But when you realize that deities could learn from you, then what's the point? With this gun, you will become a god yourself. You feel the darkness enclosing around you and tentacles kind of grabbing at your flesh and squeezing. And finally, one of the little things kind of just goes nose to nose with you. This little kind of pufferfish, little baby squid. It speaks in two voices, a tiniest little cutesy voice and like Natonica's angry, I'm going to destroy worlds voice. You are my vessel. You are my extension. You are now a part of me, and I am a part of you. Midwick, while you're checking out Lemio, in your dream, Midwick,
Midwick?
Yeah, so Midwick has the little pufferfish jam into his mouth, and you're swallowing it. It's really violent, and you know, Midwick, that the little squid is going into the place where the gem from the crystal dragon used to be.
Okay.
Mark's comment was how Japanese, just in case you're wondering from the chat.
Midwick awakes in the middle, like Donovan's checking on like feeling like Lemio's forehead and wondering why he's warm, like he was lying out in the sun, and Midwick awakens just gasping up. Actually, it's like he woke and somebody had poured a whole like cup or liter full of seawater into his mouth. And he's actually hacking it up on the ground on all fours and wakes up.
Awesome.
Oh, Midwick. Oh, you deserve it. All right.
Awesome.
There's this sort of weird like slime also with it. Like that might have actually happened when Donovan's head was turned. And all of your mythic points you awake with.
Oh.
A tentacle monster is your mythic daddy now.
Yeah.
You just call him daddy.
Class. That's class.
It's gonna get worse. Like there's nothing about this adventure that is happy.
Azzy is happy.
Azzy is happy.
And that's
Zildin
how
is happy.
we're going to cut him out of this adventure and stick him in the other adventure.
And we'll wait for Mark to reconnect. And I guess Uker's also having a bit of a dream here. Did Uker declare a new god in his
Nope.
He still worships Thor, huh?
Yeah. Kind of just being Uker. Since he's gotten here, he hasn't really, quote unquote, worshipped anything, but.
Okay, Uker has a different experience. You're just enjoying the afterbath. Your room changed into what you expected it to be like when you were in Gazarija as like the best Bakari wrestler ever, living in the big city. You've got servants. They're all just sort of gone at this moment. It's a nice, cool summer evening. A nice little draft coming in. The bamboo sort of chimes are kind of making their noise. You can hear a bamboo like water clock thing out in the courtyard, kind of glunk glunk, glunk glunk, kind of. It's really relaxing. Floating into the room, which is also so relaxing. It just sort of belongs there. I'm going to zoom in on Uker's token for a second. Floating is this massive man of war jellyfish thing with just calm chiming noises and drifting tentacles that are coming in, weird swirls and kind of see-through organs. You're like, oh, that's just Chrysophis, your friend. She's around here. She's wonderful. She's your... You have no ill will to her whatsoever. Uka.
Chrysophis, grab a pillow.
You are so strong. Her tentacle kind of like wisps up against some of your arm muscles that were sore from a fight, but it was a good sore.
It was a good sore.
It was a good sore. The roster of names of people that you've beaten started to go into the fantastical, like giants and dragons and things you've thrown around, gods.
Knock them over.
You are not him, but you could be. You get this brief recollection of Uker.
I am me. He is him. Him is like me, but I am me and he is him. I am stronger.
You and him will cross paths. You are the you without the changes. And there's a flash of like a howl of a wolf in the night. And even like an emperor standing out onto a balcony way to see his subjects with a bow slung over his back and a hammer at his side. You are him without these things. Imros is playing a dangerous game for us all. He is playing with time on the periphery of the abyss. He is playing with time in a place where the Modrons cannot regulate it.
One of one is modern.
Yes, he has designs to supplant Primus, the single Modron at the top of their hierarchy. But that is not why I am here. Ragnarok is a foregone conclusion, Uker. And what you have precipitated already is like a snowflake turning into an avalanche. And for some reason you're seeing an avalanche, like you saw it all and it all makes sense.
Killing in the goo or here or with, this place.
Yes. Your destiny or your fate. Intertwined. Difficult to discern now that there are multiples in time. You started something. You were special and to be guarded. You got the attention of the gods. And then you went to a place where you were not supposed to succeed. And it took the divine intervention of a goodly deity in the abyss itself to make sure that you did. This has and will start the great and final planar war.
Planar war is bigger than Ragnarok, yeah?
Gods fighting gods, planes fighting planes. You have already seen the signs.
What are the creatures on the planet?
Which ones?
The ones on the surface, the ones under the rock.
Holdouts. People who have found impossible ways to survive. Below the ground are creatures of fire and rock. Like many worlds, have come to live there, and their fate shall be shared amongst the others there. Know that you do not derive your power from those that are in the earth. Yours is from that of men. You are the strongest man, perhaps, to walk in an age, and still you grow stronger. It is the belief of men that fuel your heart.
That is why I am stronger than him. He is not pure. He has been touched by too many.
What I show you now is a glimpse of what could have been. It is your birthday on Gazarija. It is a happy day. It is a day when tomorrow you will be crowned the best wrestler that ever did live in the Empire. Go to the balcony. Feel the admiration of your people. And know that we can only do this. And there's this sense of utter sadness because of Imros's mistake.
What did he do?
He messed with time, on the edge, on the periphery of regulated time. Too strong is the river that flows through you all. We should have never meddled. For that I am infinitely sorry.
When are we?
This place I am showing you only exists beyond our touch. But feed from it this one time you may.
Okay, Uker will go out to the
It
balcony.
is what should have been, but never can be.
Okay, Uker will stand up, go over to the balcony.
Uker sees 10,000 torches, like those little glowy torches that people let go and they kind of fly up, with 100,000 people packing the streets and cheering with banners when you come to the edge. It is the dawn of a new day, and the people are here. You did something. People are like have got those sort of like dancing dragon costumes, and there's a jubilation and a roar that goes up. you know that you defeated something that must have been so impossible to defeat in a way that, like, a titan walked amongst these people and threatened them, and you wrestled them.
Yes.
You just raise your arm, and the admiration, the near hero worship flows through you, and you awake with this chanting in your ears from an alternate dimension and timeline that was what was supposed to happen but what could never be, with your mythic points.
Yay. Oh, so this is what would have happened if I never got pulled through to go fight in Runeshod, is what I'm thinking.
Yep.
That's the... Also, the jellyfish gave me permission to give Imros a noogie. I'm pretty certain that's what she said.
Fuck him up.
All right.
All right, so Donovan had wandered over to kind of go, Midwick sort of deserved it, and then you notice that Uker is like, yes, yes. He's in his bed going like this, breaking the banister of the bed, cheering underneath his sheets.
Uker's having a good dream.
Yep.
So.
Altagar also starts to kind of like twitch in his chair a little bit.
Mark is back.
Yes, I am.
Altagar, you're in a chair, and the chair is so much larger than you, but you've managed to make this chair fit for your size. You are towering above even the smaller creatures, and you know that your subjects are out there. The ruins of a great race and civilization underneath the banner of what you have done. Wait a second, that sounds insane. You haven't done any of those things yet.
Not yet.
The door at the end of the hall, which you know is your hall, it's suspiciously dwarven. Like, there are elements of, like, is this Dvergholm? No, it can't be Dvergholm. Is this Amon's hall? The door at the end of the chamber busts open, and you can see that those that you failed, writhing in madness and chaos, tentacles everywhere, as the souls of thousands of giants of all races are doomed to the chaos that is nibbling away at the end of your hall.
I don't want that to be the case.
A warm hand presses down on your shoulder reassuringly, and a female voice, speaking perfect giant. Chrysophis may decide not to appear jellyfish behind Altagar, but it feels like a giantish, stern, reassuring hand, and a female voice whispering in your ear.
Altagar's more accepting. He was like, cool, jellyfish. She's smart. Altagar punches things.
Imros's mistake allows us a glimpse at possible futures. He plays with time in chaos beyond regulated time.
Dangerous.
Dangerous, my middle name.
Foolish, but we must make of what we have before us. You must play with the hand that you're dealt.
This is a hand that was dealt for me.
This is what awaits your people, should you not act. Your kind are trying to make something of themselves, and in doing so, they are making a mess of their own fate.
You're not telling me anything I don't know.
There is hope. There is hope. And in Imros's mistake, I can help you. And you feel like the hand is now jabbing into the back of your body, and kind of like clicking something, like twisting a bit of your crooked back. And you feel the prayers of giants ringing from the past, old glorious prayers, not the horrible ones to deities like Surt and Grolantor, but like the prayers and hopes of a young giantish race that was not split and schismed.
Okay.
You can be their hope. Renewal is not only for the young races, it can be for the old.
Yeah, I know.
You will not be able to do it alone. Allow me to help. And there's another twist and crack of your back, which is sort of unpleasant. But you feel that as she's cricking your back, your mythic is returning.
Oh, hello.
As you notice that some of the broken statues are like taking form and people coming out of the shadows, when I say people, like giants, and looking up at Altagar with hopeful look in their eyes, like there's something about to happen.
Okay.
Altagar shoots awake as mythic points are returning to his form.
Yay! Ready to punch things a lot now.
Who haven't we done yet?
As I.
Good luck.
Branch, there's a branch stuck up your ass.
Just bent over a tree stump with a branch off of your ass.
Someone give him water.
Just
This was a totally different message.
a little
All right,
stick.
you fuckface, quit messing around and get this straight.
Okay, Azzy, you're on a grova, digging around in the small vegetable garden you had behind the cabin.
Oh. Alrighty then.
Yeah, you're just sort of digging around with a little awl and little trawl or whatever it's called, and little gardening, whistling away. It's nice. It's really nice here, and it's like close to the earth, and you've been preparing this little special spot. You know, you got to plant something there, and you take a little bit of break after some hard work and getting away all the weeds and tilling the soil with your hands, and you found a really good spot. Not too much sunlight, not too much shade. A really good place with nice moisture. It's not mud, but it's not too dry. But you're like, what is supposed to go in there? Shake your head a little bit and you look up at the horizon and you realize that there's smoke and there's this massive tree on the horizon. Like it is the horizon. And you see a whole branch of it on fire. Fire that is now choking the world. There are giants moving in and amongst the billowing smoke. You can hear the screams of woodland creatures. It reminds you too much of the fire that consumed you, that brought you here in the first place.
Where's that idiot Altagar? Isn't he supposed to take care of these bastards?
There's also this tug, kind of like trying to make a compass point in a different direction other than true north. And the compass, you keep on looking at the fire is important, but you keep on looking over your shoulder to something else.
All right.
And there's a blue line that traces the path.
Follow the path.
Okay. You start to go to follow the path, and you find yourself sort of trapped in between. Like, you need to help